Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special edition of Tunnel Vision. I'm your host, Ryan Abraham, and we are joined remotely by USC women's beach volleyball coach and now two-time national champion, Dain Blanton. Dain, thanks for coming on, man. How are you?
I'm awesome. It's been a whirlwind. Thanks for having me on. It's just a real special time for us, and it's a dream come true.
You guys you won the national championship on Sunday, way out in Gulf Shores, Alabama, which I don't know why you're doing it out there. But and then you come back, it's like 2:30. I'll put a video up, 2:30 in the morning. The Trojan Marching Band is there greeting you guys. Like, what was that experience like?
I mean, it was amazing because the students, our student athletes, didn't know that they were going to be there. And so 2:30, 3 in the morning for the band to get out there and to come out and support us just meant the world to us. And it was just another part of the celebration that we'll never forget. And how cool was that, taking that photo right there of the whole band and that came out, as well as the players. It was so cool. It kind of re-energized you. You know, a lot of people were half asleep and taking it in. And that made it really real when you finally realize, hey, we're home, the band's here, and this is really happening. So it was a little wake-up call at 2:30, which was much wanted and much deserved by the players who really put it all on the line.
The season's pretty quick, right? Like, I actually coached some beach volleyball down at Hermosa Beach. We have a mutual friend, Bill Sigler, with the city, and you guys were there, I think, in February. Like, you were on the courts early, and then we took them over afterwards or whatever. But that wasn't that long ago, and all of a sudden, like, the championships already, it happens pretty fast.
It really does. Our season's only about 16 weeks long, and it's a whirlwind. You got to start playing in January when you come back. School starts, and then a month later, our season starts, and before you know it, it's early May. That first week of May is championship time, and we circled that date of May 8th on our calendar, and it was a really special day. I cannot emphasize how impressed I was with how the players stepped up and just really were not going to be denied. They took this not to be denied attitude, and no matter what type of obstacles were thrown their way, they were ready to go.
You got the team, early on. UCLA, won a couple of championships recently. You guys won last year. They take that match early on. I think, one of the first matches you guys played this year, and you rattle off 36 straight. Since then, what kind of came together for the team that you were able to do that and just not win a match for the rest of the season? And lose a match, sorry.
Yeah, first of all, you never really want to be undefeated, right? It puts added pressure. So, I'd be lying, but like by design, it'd be nice to have a loss there to take the pressure off. I'm not saying we did that on purpose, but we brought it all together. Once we lost that first early round match in the season, we just changed our attitude and realized this is going to take us playing with a sense of urgency every single time that we step on that court, and that's exactly what we were able to do. And then everyone wants to focus on the streak, and you got 30 in a row, you got 33, whatever it is, but we just try to take it one at a time. That's all we can do, one match at a time, and the girls were able to do that, and that's the only way we were successful.
So most of the people watching are probably big USC football fans. It's kind of what we focus on a lot. How could maybe describe sort of the structure? Like they've seen beach volleyball, but it seems like there's a lot of girls on the team. Like you have 5 different, like, I guess, main teams that you put out there. Maybe give people a kind of idea of what the structure is like for the sport.
Absolutely. It's a relatively new sport. It became an NCAA sport in 2016. We won back-to-back 2016, 2017. It was UCLA won in 18 and 19. COVID was 20, and now we've won in 21 and in 22. But the way it works is you have 10 starters, 5 pairs, and you're supposed to rank them 1 through 5. So your 1 is supposed to be your top ability pair down to your 5. And then when you compete it against another school, 1 plays 1, 2 plays 2, 3, all the way down to 5. Whoever can win 3 out of those 5 matches wins what we call the duel. And so we battle with a lot of teams. The great thing is that number 5 is no less important than number 1. If you win at 3, 4, 5, you're going to win the duel. If you win at 1, 3, and 5, you're going to win the duel. It doesn't have to be your top 3 pairs. So you're really competing with that starting lineup from 1 to 10. We had about 16 people traveling with us this year, and we had almost 24 people on the team. So we had a larger size roster this time around, and that was due to the fact of COVID, with so many players getting that extra year of eligibility, and that will kind of filter out in the next couple of seasons. But 10 starters, you want about 16 to 20 on the roster in a typical situation.
What are the scholarship numbers, and then what's recruiting like? There's a lot of fans of USC football recruiting on this that watch the show. What's beach volleyball recruiting like?
Well, it's tough. So we are an equivalency sport. That means we're not a head count sport. A head count sport is like football, where there's 85 full scholarships. You can't divvy them up. You got to give full scholarships or nothing. Basketball, women's indoor volleyball would be a head count sport as well. So beach volleyball, we are an equivalency sport, which means there's less scholarships than starters, actually. So we have 6 scholarships and we have 10 starters out there. But the catch is we can divvy up the scholarships. You can give half rides, you can give quarter rides. And so a lot of my time as a head coach is spent being a general manager, trying to get the best talent on the court for the least amount of money, right? Because the money doesn't go quite as far. My dream is one day that this becomes a head count sport, that we have 12 full scholarships so that the finances aren't a factor when students look at going to a school. You can give them a full scholarship. But in the meantime, I could give 12 half rides or 6 full rides. It's up to the university to max out at that 6. And it's also up to me as a coach to decide how that is divvied up to construct the best team possible to win a national championship.
So the championship, you get to play I think the number 4 ranked team, the 5 seed in the tournament in Gulf Shores, Alabama. Like we mentioned, you guys were the 1 seed, number 1 ranked. You play Florida State, ends up beating 3-1. I'm going to put up some highlights we have from the match there. What are some of the things that sort of stood out to you from this weekend's championship run?
Well, it's interesting. We played UCLA in the semifinals on Saturday afternoon, and I thought that the players played maybe one of their best matches of the year. And so I was a little concerned, can we play to that level the next day during the finals? And to no surprise, the players were able to do so. We did have a little bit of a hiccup. We lost at the number 2 position against Florida State, and that put a little more pressure on the 4 and 5. And the 4 pairs, which are Audrey and Nicole Norse, they took care of business and won. So we ended up winning at the number 1 pair, the number 3 pair, and the number 4 pair to get the championship. So it was a complete team effort, and so fun to watch every single court. I love the way the pairs came together, and you saw right there when we clinched the dog pile on the court, the traditional dog pile, which is just incredible. I'm in the bottom of it right there. But this was such a special team, and I've told a lot of people that I think this was the best collegiate team that has been assembled in the short time that beach volleyball has been an NCAA sport. I think this is the best team from top to bottom, and I think we have some players that are going to go on to do some amazing things. We already have Tina Gradina on the team who got a 4th place in the Olympics in Tokyo. So she was the first active collegiate player to play in the Olympics while still being enrolled at school. So we'll miss her a lot. She's put a stamp on this program, and I was just very fortunate to be able to coach these athletes. I think they're all going to go on to do some amazing things.
Yeah, I mean, does that help having alumni like the April Rosses of the world, people that are out there having a lot of success on the different beach volleyball tours and coming back and seeing the players and stuff?
I think it does. You got Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes, who really built this program up early on, winning those championships in 2015, 16, and 17. And they're out on the pro tour doing their thing. April Ross, a gold medalist, obviously. She didn't play beach while she was at USC because beach volleyball didn't exist at the time at the collegiate level. But for her to have won not only a silver and a bronze, she won a silver in London, a bronze in Rio, and then to win a gold in Tokyo was just impressive. So if you look at the pro circuit, it is just USC all over the place. And that's a selling point. You want to turn pro, you want to prepare your game for that next level, then you want to come here to USC, and we'll hopefully put you in that position and give you the tools to do so.
You're no stranger to the Olympics. I'll put up you're a gold medalist from 2000, I believe it was.
Sydney 2000.
Sydney 2000. Then you played again in 2004. How did you get to where you are now to go? I mean, you were a volunteer assistant when USC was winning those early championships. And how did that path to become a head coach come about? Well,
I played professionally for about 15 years. I actually went to Pepperdine University, where I won a national championship as a indoor male player, and because beach volleyball on the male side still doesn't exist at the collegiate level. But as I got to retiring and moving on from playing, I got into broadcasting, and then I got into coaching, and I got a call from the former coach on a Collier in 2015 to be a volunteer assistant, and I did that for 4 seasons. It was so fun working with Sarah Hughes, Kelly Clays, some of the players that I'd mentioned earlier, and they were just focus driven, and it was so fun to coach them. After 4 years, I actually took 2019 off. I actually called the championship for beach volleyball with ESPN as a commentator, and then that summer the job became available, and I put my name in the hat, and fortunately the administration bet on me to be the second head coach in the program's history, and to continue the tradition. And we've been able to do that over the last couple of years. So it's been a dream come true. The administration has supported this program tremendously. I was hired by the last administration, but I'll tell you what, when Mike Bone got here, things were really, really focused on the student athlete. And if it's good for the student athlete, we do it. We try to make this the best experience. And I've had nothing but great support from the administration. And it's so fun to see them come out. Carol Folt, President Folt, comes out to some of our matches. Mike Bone's out there. And the kids really appreciate it, too. When they see the administration supporting, it takes it to another level. And we're constantly trying to raise the bar here in beach volleyball.
Yeah, you got to do broadcasting for the last Olympics too, right? Did you do a little bit of that?
I did. I worked for NBC. I was the sideline reporter. So, it was interesting at times because our assistant coach, Gustavo Hocha, he was Tina's coach internationally. So He was coaching Tina, who's Latvian. She was playing for Latvia, but obviously playing for USC. After the matches, I would get her as she's walking off the court to interview her as, a sideline interview. And so there was a lot of USC around, and it's been so fun. Hopefully I can continue to broadcast the pro circuit as well as the Olympics. But, my main priority is coaching these girls and giving them an opportunity to take their game to the next level, or to just have a great experience while they're here, because not everybody turns pro. There's a lot of players that will never play volleyball again, and this is their highlight. So we want to make this experience the best experience possible, and we want them to go on to really represent USC well, and just continue to grow that USC family.
So championships won. But that was a couple days ago. Now you got to go next year. What's the squad look like for 2023 season?
We got a great class. We have about 8 players coming in. I just lost 11 seniors, if you can imagine. So we had a lot of grad students, a lot of seniors taking over, and it was. It's going to be a big transition, but I can't wait to take on that challenge. But we've maximized the personnel every year, and I don't see next year being any different. We're going to push them to their limit and see what we can accomplish. It's going to be a lot of fun.
All right. Well, Dain, I know you literally just got back when we were setting this up. You were like getting into your office, figuring everything out. You got to do exit interviews with all those seniors that are leaving the program, but I appreciate taking the time. And again, congratulations on back-to-back national. You've only been the coach for 3 years, right? You got 2 championships.
Yeah, and I don't know if we can count that COVID year, so we'll take it. And we set the bar high, but that's USC. Not only about excellence on the field, but also excellence in the classroom. So we're going to keep pushing the envelope.
All right. Well, you can follow him on Twitter at Dain Blanton and follow along in the USC Trojan Women with Troy, the beach volleyball team, winning championships every year. So it's another one. I think it's the 36th female championship and 134th overall for the school. So pretty impressive totals there. But again, congratulations and thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.